perfect. Hey everyone, welcome back. I can't believe I'm here and doing another video, but I read this book so fast. First off, my name is Michelle and I talk books. Here I am doing a video, not even planning on it today because we are talking up on your screen of Carrie Lonesdale's newest book, Side Trip, which came out July 7th. For those of you who have never watched my channel before or seen me, you don't know how big of a fan I am of Carrie's. So I have to tell you, I am probably her biggest fan. I love her so much, and Carrie, if you happen to be watching this, oh my God, when I find out that one of your books is coming out, I do a happy dance. I love every page of your books. Up on your screen, 333 pages of perfect women's fiction. And I say that because you guys know I am hard on women's fiction books. They have to be perfect to get me past chapter 1. I say it over and over again, but when I find an author who can do it as well as she does, I'm all in. I can't wait to talk about everything besides just how much I love Carrie, which we will get to, but I'm going to give you my 5 reasons on why you need to read this book, why I love this book, and I can't believe I'm done with it. I read it in less than 24 hours. I couldn't stop turning pages. It's beyond. I'm still coming off of my I have to calm down, go back to reality. Because when I'm in one of her books, I'm suspended. Things are happening around me. I don't even know because I'm like, don't bother me. I'm reading this book. That's what I did for the last 24 hours. Don't bother me. I'm reading this book. Leave me alone. So let's start at the beginning. Number 1. I always say I'm going to go backwards too. Let's make it number 5. It's women's fiction done perfect. You know what I love about Carrie's books too is the romance. You are never not involved in her romance. And I am not a romance reader. I really am not. When it's done well, I find myself begging her. I'm like, hurry, Carrie, let's go. Let's get to it because I know it's coming. You know it's coming when you're reading one of her books, but it can't happen fast enough. You're so invested. Let's go to number 4. Joy Evers. I don't even know why I put her under him, sort of. If I were talking to Carrie, this is what I'd ask her about Joy. You picked the name Joy. You do such an amazing job with your names. I read into that a lot because I know you have to make them be perfect for the character. So her name is Joy, but underneath it all, she's not that happy of a person. The majority of the book, she's not happy. I don't know if I want to tell you why. I'm trying to think if it's a spoiler because, you know, I don't give away spoilers. I'm deciding this in my head. Even though I write down notes, I'm like, how much are you going to tell about Joy? We find out in the very beginning of the book, she outlives her sister. She has an older sister who dies young. She was 13 when her sister died, and her sister was like 16 or 17, and it traumatizes her life. So here we are, fast forward to Joy, who's older and can't get past her sister's death. I think I did that pretty good. Not wanting to tell you anything, but I don't want to give any spoilers, so I try to be very conscientious about that. I love Joy, even though I want to be like, Joy, it's okay. Please, it's okay. Like, let yourself off the hook. You can be happy. You can go on with your life. I talked to her a lot, but I loved her too. She goes through some things. Now, the premise of the story, just to back it up a little bit, because this is not a spoiler, is she decides she's going to do her sister's bucket list. She finds her sister's bucket list and she decides that's how she's going to connect with this older sister that she will never get to ever talk to again. She's going to connect through her sister's bucket list and see what she can find out about this sister. One of her sister's bucket lists is to drive on Route 66. I'm going to put it up on your screen just in case you've never heard of it. I did drive on Route 66. I can say it's pretty cool. I mean, I was younger too. I was 25 and I have a lot of great memories from it. I love the premise. I love what Carrie did with this. She's taking her on this drive of Route 66 to check off some of her sister's bucket list before She even gets going. She meets number 3 reason, Dylan Westfield. She doesn't know who he is. He asks her for a ride. They find each other at a diner. They are both going to New York. They are in California. And she says yes. This is not a spoiler. Why did I put Dylan above her? Because, Carrie, I loved Dylan. Loved him. Wanted to keep him. Everybody needs a Dylan in their life. And I loved him so much. And of course, you're writing for women. So of course you wrote the perfect male character that we all fall in love with. Of course you did that for us. And I am thanking you for that because that's why we read your books. See, we know that. And that's why we read your books. Number 4, because you guys know I am a sucker for a good line. And one of my favorite lines, if I can find it, is always the last line of the first chapter. I'm telling you, do it. When you're reading a book, finish the book, go back and read your first chapter and look at that last line. Because they have to come up with a line that's going to take me to chapter 2. And do you know how many times I put down a book that doesn't have it? So many times. So many times I'll get to the end of chapter 1 and be like, nope, didn't do it, didn't get me there, didn't make me want to read too many books to read, didn't get me to want to read more of this book. But not Carrie, because she can do it, and she does it beautifully. Last line up on your screen, because what she might want or who doesn't matter. It hasn't mattered for years. And this is coming from Joy, and you want to be like, what? What does it have? See? That's what gets us as readers, because we want to know, what is that? What is that she can't have or doesn't feel like she can have? What is the reason? And then, so Carrie takes us on this ride of Route 66. I'm telling you, I could not read this book fast enough. I mean, it's only 333 pages. I just went through it so fast. I just couldn't wait. I wanted to not. I wanted to savor it, but then I needed to know what was going to happen. I needed to know. I couldn't go the rest of the day. I was thinking, I'll just finish it tomorrow. No big deal. I'll finish it tomorrow. Couldn't do it. Needed to know today. I got like 75% of the way through and I'm like, oh no, you're finishing this. This is happening today. So what is my number 1 reason? Carrie, of course. She's a Lake Union author. You know I love my Lake Union authors. I'm going to put this book, the cover up, because I love Lake Union book covers. Every one of them. And what I love about Carrie is that I'm going to put them up on the screen for you. Because we have Last Summer, which was last year. We have her Everything series, which she was coming out year after year. Her books always have women on the front cover. A woman that you can then picture in the book. And a lot of times authors don't like to do that because they want you to come up with your own vision. But I think it's brilliant the way she does it. You get a glimpse and then you're like, oh, now I know what Joy looks like. At least in my head, I can picture her. I love that, Carrie. I love your covers. You are one of my favorite authors. And I have to tell you that over and over again, but you really are. So what did I learn? I got done with this book, and her books also just make you think about life. It's not just a romance. It's not just a women's fiction. And sometimes you can just read a book for fun and you don't have to learn anything. You won't have to learn anything. You can just read it and have fun, and I am all for that. But I also love a book that makes me really think about my life. Carrie always makes me think about my life. I learned 3 things from this book. Live life. And if we haven't learned that in this world that we are in right now, live your life. That's what Joy had to learn. Take risks. I have taken some risks in my life. It takes me to number 3, don't look back. I don't look back. I really try hard not to look back. I'm not perfect at it. I don't think any of us are. Realize that you wanted to take those risks at that time because things were not well. A lot of times we'll go through life, and I've done that too, where you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, don't think about your happiness or your contentment, and then something happens and you have a choice. You've got 2 ways to go. And are you going to do the way riskier road, or are you just going to keep going on? If you take that risky road, do not look back, and know that the reason you took that is because things were not that well on the other one, or you wouldn't have looked that way. So that's it. That's all I have to say about this book. Thank you so much, Carrie. I'm already like, when is your next book coming? I need to know. I'm sure you have it coming out very soon. You're doing a book a year. I am so happy about it. Thank you so much. It was such a fun 24 hours because that's all it took. But it was a really fun 24 hours and I love them so much. Please hit like if you enjoyed this review. Please let me know. And are you a Carrie fan? I want to know because I think we should have a fan club. How about that? I don't know if she has one. Do you have one, Carrie? We could make one because I'd love to be the president of that fan club. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm doing videos all the time because I'm home all the time. And maybe some of you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day until my next video.